Hey YouTube, what's going on? Chris here. I want to bring you all an update today of EOS, NEO, and Ethereum. So those are the three we're going to go over, and we're going to go over them in order. I'm going to try to make this a quick video for you here. Just want to point out some of the main things for you, the trends, moving averages, some of the support resistance, some of the key areas we're looking at for each one of these coins. So we're going to dig into all that, guys. If you like me covering these three, let me know down low. If you want me covering NEO more, you want me covering ETH more, EOS more, let me know. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. That's how I know that people who like EOS will want me to do more, or Ethereum will want me to do more, or I could just stick to, the top 5 or whatever. So guys, let me know down low. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and let's get into this. So first of all, we're going to be looking at EOS here. And what I like to track is trends, guys. I track trends from the short term, intermediate to the longer term. And what we're trying to do here for EOS, we had been in an intermediate term downtrend. So we were having lower highs and lower lows coming in. And now what we just had was our first higher high over this area here at around 328. So what we're trying to do now is change the trend. We're trying to do this out of a trend line break. So you can see out of this yellow trend line that we had here, we had about 4 touches here. We actually broke out with a bullish engulfing candle. And what's happening now is we're trading up above the 9 EMA, the 20 EMA, the 50 moving average. The only one we have not got up above yet is going to be that 200-day moving average, and that's where the next high is also going to correlate, and that's going to be around $4.14. So that's the next overhead spot that I'm going to be looking at if we continue to make a move to the upside. Right now our RSI is at 63, so we have more room to run up to the upside. That's where my first target would be, around that 414. After that, if we're able to get up above that 200-day moving average, what I want to see is candle closes up above that in continuation off that. Because right now, guys, what we're trying to do, we're just changing this trend in the short term. So now we're in a short-term uptrend. But it's nice that we're finally back up above that 50-day moving average, and we're having candle closes up above that. Remember, the 50-day moving average, that's going to be your intermediate term moving average. So right now, what we want to do is see continued follow through so that we can get up there around that $4.14. Now, to the downside, if we do start failing and we don't see continuation with this, I'm going to look for us to continuously hold this 50 moving average, which is going to be around $3.18 is what I'm looking at. But right now, guys, we're just going to see if we can get a beautiful trend line break out of here, which we got that bullish engulfing candle. It didn't come on the most volume that I would have liked. I would have liked to see more volume, but you can see we consolidated for a few days here, and now what we're trying to do is have that next leg up, see if we can come up here and challenge that 414. So that's EOS right now, guys. We're just slowly trying to change the trend, but you can see the importance of taking profits and paying attention to these moving averages. Say you would have bought in once we got up above the 50-day moving average right here with this beautiful candle, had a nice close up above it. That's going to be at around 273. You would have sold out when we lost it right here at around 654. That's a beautiful trade. That's great percentage gains, guys, and that's what I'm about. I'm trying to take the huge chunk out of the middle when I'm trading. I'm not trying to nail the top. I'm not trying to drill the bottom. I want that big chunk where I'm trying to get 70-80% of the move or the trend in the intermediate term, and then I'm out and I'm looking for a new opportunity. That's what I like to do, guys. So those are my targets to the upside and the downside there for EOS. Next, we're going to be looking at NEO. These are just some of the stocks that I have here, guys, that I'm looking at as well. Just all the different coins. So in terms of NEO here, let's back this out. So what I do like about NEO, similar to what we were talking about with EOS there. We were having our lower highs and lower lows coming in. But what was nice is we had a bullish engulfing candle on heavy volume. So the candles got really tight down here, and then we had this nice break. And what we're looking at to see if this is some type of a bull flag. So a bull flag, typically you're going to have this big long mass. You go straight up vertically, and that's what we ended up doing. Then you can have anywhere from about a week to 4 weeks. You don't want it to be longer than 4 weeks of this consolidation where you're slowly moving down or sideways before we have that next leg up. So that's what I'm looking at right now. But what I like about NEO is we're up above the 9 EMA, so that's our short term. We're up above the 20, we're up above the 50, and we're up above that 200-day moving average, which we had not been up above since July 14th. 2019. So it's significant that we are trading back up above that again. We just don't want to lose it, guys. That's the main thing. And what I'd have is some type of a target for us. If we are to break out of this, I would come up here and I would target this area around $19. I believe we could run that hard that fast. if we do end up having a bull flag out of here and it plays out to that way. In terms of the downside, the 200-day moving average really needs to hold for us. Other than that, I would be looking down here right around this 20 EMA, which is also going to correlate with this top here. This was old resistance. We would want it to become new support, and that's going to be at around $10.14. So to the downside, $10.14. To the upside, we need to break around $13.13, and then it would be up here around that $19.67 if the bull flag does play out. The RSI is at 66 right now, 66.95, so almost at 67. Remember, anything over 70 is going to be in that overbought territory, but cryptocurrency is different. We can run up into the 90s many a time, so that's something that I really want you to pay attention to and look out for. But you know, guys, when we have moves like this come in, this is where we're looking for that continuation now, consolidation and then continuation. That's what I'm going to be paying attention to on NEO, because this was a really good, powerful move. But we do have some indicators just like this here. We have a really long wick, a lot of rejection, and an ugly candle here where we ended up getting pushed to the downside. So we flew all the way up to around 13.55, and then we ended up closing that day around 10.74, so we gave a lot of the gains back in that. So that's just a candle I'm watching, but right now we're moving sideways. We're trading up above all the moving averages. That's a good thing, and you can also look over here and you can go into your technical analysis. You can see that is also a buy, and that's telling us by the moving averages. So things are looking good there. And then the next one I wanted to go to was Ethereum. I didn't want to make this too long for y'all, but I just wanted to get into these. And if you like me covering these three guys, let me know down low, like I said, and I'll keep it up once a week or twice a week, and I'll put these three together, and we'll just keep moving. Or I can throw another one in place of the other ones, but I need your opinion. I need your feedback in terms of what you want to see, which coins you really want to see the most, okay? And what I try to do is just take the bulk of what you people vote for, and then I try to cover those coins the best that I can. Now, in terms of Ethereum, what I want to do here, I want to pull out our Fibonacci. So we're going to do our Fibonacci retracement here, and then we're going to go from our swing low up to our swing high. And what we're dealing with for Ethereum right now, we dropped slightly below that 0.618, and what we need to do now is get back up above that. It's acting as overhead resistance, and you see we have a really big pinch or a squeeze here. So besides the 0.618 acting as overhead resistance, I'm going to get that off for you. You can see we're trading between this trend line where we had been having higher lows coming in, and we were really respecting this trend line for a long time. We're getting wedged between that and the 200-day moving average, as well as this 50-day moving average. So for Ethereum right now, we are trading up above the 9, the 20, and the 50. So that's good, right? The short-term to intermediate terms were up above. But the thing I wanted to point out is we're moving sideways. And whenever you move sideways, moving averages are not as important as they are when you're trending in an uptrend or in a downtrend. But what's happening is we're getting squeezed between these two, and now it's becoming that time to where we need to decide if Ethereum's going to start breaking up and testing this 200-day moving average around that $200, or if we're going to start breaking back down to where we had this bullish engulfing candle here, and that's going to be around we'll call it $160 to the downside. So it's kind of that range that we're in between $160 and around that $200, which we need to really get up above that 200-day moving average, guys. It's so important. You can see we started trading up above it here, but what happened was Bitcoin dumped, and when Bitcoin ended up dumping and making that really large break, we went from around $225 all the way down to about 153, where we had these tweezer bottoms we were talking about for quite a while. But ever since then, it's just been really chopping back and forth, almost in a sideways movement here. So I want to pay attention to that. But as we continue to squeeze, as these candles get tighter, that's when you're going to be looking for the break. You're going to see some type of break to the upside and the downside. And if I were you, I would put an alarm right here on that 200-day moving average, and I'll do it with you here. So what you do is right-click on your mouse. We'll put our alarms, we'll call it 201, right there to the upside, and then to the downside, I want to be alerted about 172 if we start breaking down through our support here on this trend line. But you can see the big fight and the big battle with this trend line right now. We are trading up above it right here, but it's almost like one of those doji candles where we're having a ton of fight, we're having a lot of indecision, and it's just the bulls and the bears fighting back and forth. Whenever candles are really tight, it shows the fight back and forth between the bulls and the bears. And another thing that I wanted to point out to y'all, and this is something that I was reading the other night. So whenever you're in a downtrend or an uptrend, and say like right here how we're downtrending, and you see these really long day candles. So you see these big candles here, guys, long day candles. Whenever you see the candles get really, really small just like this, and you start seeing your RSI make higher lows and going up, and you see that divergence, that could be a spot that could tell you that we potentially could be putting in a bottom, because when those candles get real small, that's showing that indecision to where the sellers aren't still just slamming us down and slamming us down. And it's same to the upside. If you're making an upside move and then all of a sudden the candles start to get, let me see if I can find any examples here, and the candles start to really get tight, that can, or small, that can show you that you may be coming to a top. Just like we had up here, the candles started to get smaller, if you can see this. See how these candles are getting smaller? You're not having these big long day candles like we've had throughout this entire move. So that's one of the things that I like to look for, guys. And what I want to do when I'm trading these things, I want to put the odds in my favor. That's what I'm looking for. You know, you're not going to win every trade. It's part of life, and it's part of trading, to where, you know, if you can have a 50% win rate and you cut your losses quick and you let your winners run, you can do really well in this space. But you have to have the discipline to cut your losses when you're losing. And I know it's easy to just say, hey, I'm going to keep hodling, I'm going to hold on, it's going to turn around. But a lot of times it can just keep going lower and lower and lower. And even in the stock market, some of the stocks I've looked at, guys, while I'm just going through looking at market cycles and everything, I've seen some stocks be around $2,000 to $3,000, and now they're trading around $2. So sometimes the market will come back and you'll have that next market cycle, and other times it doesn't, depending on the project. But that's where we need to be able to take profits and understand when a good time to take profits is, and that's where I want to help as many people as I can. So if you get some from these videos, guys, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. The RSI is at 55 right now, so we're really just cruising neutral for Ethereum, but a really large break could be taking place here, either to that upside, the downside. Look around that 200, down around that 160 for the targets to the upside and the downside. So God bless you all, guys. Take care. It is 8:35 a.m. It is November 5th, 2019. God bless you all, and take care.